What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, NeffyRaps. This is the Vibe Session right here, Major Zone Radio. You already know the vibes, baby. Listen, we always promise to bring you guys some of the dopest independent artists that are out here doing it on their own, getting it out the mud. And listen, guys, we got another super dope guest on the show today. KTowns, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I can't complain. Glad to have you on. So tell everybody what city you're repping today.
Well, I'm a Chicago boy. I think it's coming in backwards, but yeah, born and raised around the Chicagoland area. Evanston, Skokie. I really grew up a whole lot back there. Met a lot of cool people. But ultimately, right now, I'm living in Colorado, where just clear my head and focus on the craft here.
Okay, nice. Okay. Two different sides of the country, but nonetheless, dope places. Gotta shout out the Shy. Know some people out there. I actually know some people in Colorado too, so and I want to ask you about being out there because I hear it's really lit, it's really fun. And so I know 420 just passed. So were you able to celebrate in Colorado? Let me in on the festivities. What's going on?
Yeah, I actually was able to get back in time for 420 in Colorado. But one of the cool things about it was I was actually at a festival in Salt Lake City, Utah over that weekend. And it lasted all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I was able to get back to Colorado to celebrate the 420. I just got off probation.
Okay.
So it was kind of perfect timing. It was pretty fun.
Perfect timing. Okay. So when I come to Colorado, you got to let me know all the good spots to go to.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So, we're in 2021 and everybody's trying to get back to some sense of normal. How are you navigating through things and kind of creating your own new normal, like post-COVID, post-pandemic? How is your world right now?
Well, I'm kind of just staying pretty busy. I've got a pretty good job that's actually been able to keep me on for a good amount. I work a whole lot at that spot. And then when I'm done there, I come back home and start focusing on the music. But I've got a routine here too, where I'm still having some fun, outside of just beating a dead horse, it seems like sometimes. I go out for karaoke with my friends a whole lot. I know the underground scene in Colorado is pretty fun. There's a lot of talent out here, and I'm lucky enough to know quite a few of them. We like to go out and just, make some musical memories, whether we're getting paid or not. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, nice. Okay, so what's your favorite song to sing during karaoke?
That's a good question. There's a lot of them. I'm a big Aerosmith fan, actually.
Okay.
So I like to go up there and do a few of the ones that they do. But there's this one called "What It Takes." It's a super sappy power ballad, but it's a lot of fun.
You know what's so funny? I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about doing karaoke. I'm like, you know what? It looks so fun. If I'm drunk enough, I think I could do it.
Yeah. It's a nice way to blow off some steam too. I know it gets frustrating in these times so far. So,
yeah. Okay, cool. So I understand you may be part of a group. Is this true?
Yeah, actually,
okay.
My boy Elevate, he lives in Evergreen right now. He and I met in Denver about a year and a half ago, and we, really just enjoyed each other's energy, each other's creative process. We actually are trying to start up a rock band on top of all that, but while we're waiting for those pieces to get lined up, we decided, why wait? We both enjoy hip hop, rap, and we like the same music, let's throw some shit together. And it's come out pretty cool. We're doing pretty well out in Denver. We actually got a show coming up with Recognize from Strange Music.
Nice. That's a big play right there. And I was on your page. I see you guys are performing often. So that's really good. Were you afraid, or not afraid, but were you a little nervous getting back to performing after COVID? Because it's like you got to share the mic and, or were you guys like, whatever. Let's do what we do.
Honestly, we never really stopped. We did take a few breaks, obviously, when places were shutting down, but we were lucky enough to kind of know some of the people who were getting around that. There's a local production company called Swingin' News Productions. They've got a few small scale venues that have been able to comply with COVID regulations. So, despite it, yeah, it was a little slower, but we never really stopped ourselves. We just kind of kept trying to push through. We gave ourselves time to write some more music, obviously, but we stayed busy, and I think it shows.
Okay, that's good. Did you get vaccinated yet, or no vaccine for you?
I haven't gotten it yet. It's not mandatory at work, and I kind of want to see how it plays out with other people first.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's been worked on long enough for me yet.
Got it. Well, listen, I got my first shot last week, and it took me down for like 3 days. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting to say the least. So, I'll keep you posted.
Please do. I'm definitely looking for some info.
Okay, cool. So, where did you start your journey? Getting into hip hop. Obviously you're a fan of the music. So what made you kind of decide to create? What was that moment like for you? And how did you kind of get into it in the first place?
Well, I've kind of been a music for a long time. I grew up just really musically inclined. I always figured it was going to be something I was going to be doing with my life. But as far as getting into hip hop specifically, I had a lot of friends back in that Chicago-based scene that were really into it. All day, every day, we're smoking together and just bumping some old school boom bap shit. And then I went and saw with a few of them the Straight Outta Compton movie, and that I think kind of really, set off this sort of igniter that got me sort of like, I got to start doing this, or I just got to give it up. So I went and I started doing it. Honestly, it took a while to get together, which is why I felt like I had to move out to Colorado and kind of clear my head. It's just a little more socially inclined and a little less productive back in Chicago. So I felt like I had to just get away from it all so I could focus. And that's when it really started getting in gear. And I have come a long way since then. That was about 2 years.
Okay, nice. So how would you describe your sound, your vibe as an artist? What's that KTowns vibe like?
Well, I guess in the beginning, I feel like I was not the greatest mastering, guy. I got a bunch of friends now who I know are good on that, but I had a real kind of lo-fi, real old school, kind of almost 8-bit sound to it, almost like it was from a video game of sorts. I'm trying to, just make music different. I kind of don't like the way the game has gone so far. And it seems like, I was talking with my friend Leonidas the other day about this too, actually, how quality's kind of getting undermined for commercialism. And, I want to kind of make music that completely dissuages that whole thing. I don't think it's a good way for music to be understood, in my opinion. I'm one of those kind of art value guys, I guess. But then another thing that ties them all together too is I'm having fun with it. I'm not really doing it to please anyone else, but when other people do enjoy it, I really do appreciate that as well.
Okay, that's good. And that, that's a conversation that's been thrown around a lot, especially amongst my friends, my artist friends, the commercialization of hip hop and what that's done to the overall culture of it, So it's interesting that you say that because I've been hearing that so often lately. So we never know where it's gonna go, but I do like kind of the accessibility and now anybody can be an artist, anybody can put out music, so it's kind of like a lot of microwave songs happening, right? Like something that's fun, you pop it in, whatever, it sounds good. But it is kind of missing to a degree some of that stuff that made us all fall in love with hip hop in the first place, right? So it's an interesting conversation to say the least. Okay, so who would you say are some of your favorite artists that are out right now?
I guess one of my favorites, actually for a few years now, has been this little guy named Tech9 too. He's been going independent for the last few years. Really young kid, started when he was 17, but I swear his talent and his perspective it's very well put together. He makes some very, very insightful music, in my opinion. I also like this guy, Mick Jenkins. Maybe you heard of him. He's got a real jazzy kind of style. It's a pretty cool vibe, and he's really smooth too. Really low, almost Tyler the Creator type voice. He's sweet. And then some of my favorites, actually, some of my friends are some of my local favorite, artists right now too. Actually, I've got these friends staying Stokes, local to the Fort Collins area, but they're from Dallas, Texas, actually.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, but they're real cool. They're doing a lot of moves as well. They're actually going to be featured pretty prominently on my upcoming mixtape. And, I really like every time that they put out something. It gets me inspired.
Okay. Nice. Shouting out the local artists. So how do you feel? What do you feel actually about the artist scene, the local music scene in Colorado? Is it up and coming? Because I'm not that familiar. It's not as known as a music city as maybe LA or Atlanta or somewhere like that. So what's the music scene like there?
It's pretty diverse. It's definitely not one of the more prominent, nationally known scenes, but I think there's a lot of real good, talent out here. There's a lot of people who really deserve that blow up. And I think it's going to cause a bubble. I think Denver might be a pretty up and coming scene, actually. It just takes a little more attention, a little more exposure, and who knows what's going to happen. But there's a lot of great artists out here with a lot of great potential. And I'm excited to see where everyone lands, because I know they're going to be doing some good things.
Okay, nice. All right. So I know you've got a new single that we're going to be promoting up here at Major Zone Radio. We're going to be showing it a lot of love. So tell us a little bit about the new record. What's the name of it? And tell us the backstory on how it came about for you.
Absolutely. So that song, it's called Cruisin'. It's a funny story, actually. I entered the Snoop Dogg contest where I was working to write the best song and earn a Snoop Dogg feature. Well, that's actually the song that I submitted for the contest. And I decided, hey, we're shooting for a Snoop Dogg feature. Let's go for like a West Coast vibe. Let's have a lot of fun with it, but not be sloppy. It kind of just came together very spur of the moment. But once I had a little bit, I kind of just, the rest of it followed very quickly. I actually had COVID when I was writing it too. So I had a lot of time to just really focus on that. Yeah, that was great. And I shouted to my roommate next door who also had it, like, hey, bro, listen to this song. And he was like, man, that song sounds fire, bro. I'm glad that you're making some good stuff with your extra time,
Okay. Wow. So listen, I'm already jealous because I want to meet Snoop. So that has to be like, one of the biggest things, right? Who gets the chance to get on a record with Uncle Snoop? That doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It was a really cool contest. I met a lot of different cool people as well,
Nice.
Hey, cool.
Nice. Okay, so in addition to the record, you got to at least smoke with Snoop one time.
Oh yeah.
At least once.
I'm sorry to say I didn't win the contest. I would have loved to. But man, it really led to some good writing, and I'm really excited for the mixtape that's coming up because it came together so quickly, but I think it's some of my best work yet. And so I'm excited for everyone else to hear it.
Okay, nice. That's really good. So we're going to be playing that, showing it some love. So we got the mixtape, we got the single. I also know you're doing some shows. Remind us again of the upcoming shows, just in case anyone's listening and can pull up on you. Tell us what you got coming up soon.
Okay, so with my duo, Clove, it's called, we've got a show coming up at the Roxy Theater in Denver. That's June 4th with Recognize from Strange Music. Also a bunch of awesome local acts too. Onesie Hip Hop from Denver. But we're going to be tearing it up. It's going to be still pretty COVID distanced, but I know it's the energy. It's going to be awesome. It was actually postponed last year from when the COVID shutdowns first occurred, and we finally got the chance to put it back up. So we're really excited for this one.
Okay, nice, nice. So definitely, if you're in the area, please pull up and support KTowns hitting the stage. Okay, big pressure, big energy. So, all right. So, what would you say you have coming up in the pipeline? We know you got the shows coming, the mixtape. What are some other things that you plan on accomplishing through the rest of the year? Summer's coming, everybody's gonna be outside. So, what's some other things you want to be able to do for the rest of the year?
Well, we've actually got quite a few things in the works right now. The duo is also working on an album. We've got a few songs done, a few songs, up for people to listen to, but a lot in the stash coming up. I also actually am going to be a part of another festival in Utah, a cannabis-friendly event in Salt Lake City called the Utah Dabs 710 Festival in July. It's going to be for 3 days at Liquid Joe's in Salt Lake City, and it's going to be pretty awesome.
Okay. That sounds like my kind of party.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. So real quick, I heard you mention you have a roommate. Are you in college?
No, actually, I live with my brother still.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, we're splitting a house right now. It's going pretty sweet.
I'm all for it. And listen, guys get along so much better anyway. So, especially brothers. So shout out to bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Holding it down. Okay, cool. So, KTowns, do you have any merch or anything like that we can also support?
So right now I've gone all in on the duo merch right now, the Clove merch. So I don't have any KTown specifically. I am working on that. That's going to be up and coming within the next few months. But I do have a website for our duo. It's called clove.com. That's KLOV8.com. It's spelled funny, but I promise you it makes sense. Yeah, we've got clothing. We actually just sold out of our t-shirts, so we're waiting on the next order of those. But we got posters, hoodies. We got actually rings and things too. I got one myself, but those we only sell at the shows, so those aren't quite available on the website. Okay. But yeah, clove.com, KLOV8.com.
Nice. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. I love it. So, what advice would you give to another artist who may be either wanting to start their journey, not knowing what to do, or maybe not having the courage to do it? What advice would you give to a new artist coming into this new market right now?
Well, it definitely takes time to build up, your persona and your character and who you're trying to be as an artist, especially in the local scene. I would say just start with yourself, start with who you are, write some music, put your everything into that music and make sure it's something that's really going to catch some attention, turn some heads. Then the rest kind of comes naturally as long as you're keeping your eyes open and your ears open, just catching events.
Okay. Well, that's great advice. There's nothing I can say to that. That's a major key alert, okay, to all the artists that are out there ready to get their feet wet in the game. Okay. So listen, you've been such a great interview today, KTowns. You are officially a friend of the show now.
Thank you.
Of course. So before we get out of here, I'm going to ask that you drop your social media handles, your YouTube and everything like that, so everyone knows where they can find you and keep up with your movement.
Yeah, up everywhere. I am KTowns Music. That's KTOWNS Music. That's my Instagram. That's my Facebook. That's my Twitter. KTowns Music. That's my YouTube. That's where you can find me. Now, if you're looking for my group, the two-man piece, it's Clove is what it is. ITZKLOV8. We're up everywhere under It's Clove or KTowns Music. That's where you can find us.
Nice, nice. So we're gonna be tapped in with you guys. Y'all make sure you tap in, follow these artists, man. Support, download the music, stream it, add it to your playlist, tell a friend to tell a friend, put it on repeat, okay? Because that's how we do right here on the Vibe Session Major Zone Radio. KTowns, I want to thank you again for being a dope guest on the show.
Thank
All
you for
right.
having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So we got to get out of here, guys. But listen, it's all good because we'll be back next time. It's a Vibe Session, Major Zone Radio. NeffyRaps, KTowns. We out. Peace.